Hey guys, it's been asked about a bit, so today we're going to take a look at how I make liquid core dice. These dice have a hard resin outside and liquid inside. For this project we'll need our normal set of dice molds, resin, normal safety equipment like respirator and gloves, UV resin and UV light, isopropyl alcohol, glycerin, water, whatever we want to put in our resin, some small glass spheres, which I will link in the description, and whatever we want to put in our liquid cores. I would suggest mica powder for a cool swirling shimmering effect, but you can also use glitter, multichrome flakes, polymer clay charms, and plenty of other things, as long as they're not affected by being submerged in water. So I would caution against using metal charms, which might corrode over time. So we'll start by putting things into the glass spheres. In this case I'm doing a mix of mica powder and multichrome flakes. Then we'll fill them up with some liquid. I use a mix of water, glycerin, and rubbing alcohol. I've heard a good ratio is 1:1 of water to glycerin and then just a little bit of rubbing alcohol, but I usually just eyeball it to be about that. The water works well for letting the glitter swirl around on the inside, and the glycerin helps it stay suspended. The alcohol will hopefully prevent the dice from freezing and keep the water nice and clear over time. I tried oil once and it did a good job of suspending the mica, but it didn't really flow enough to give the cool swirling effect. It might work for larger things like clay pieces and big glitter, but I haven't tried it so I don't know. Anyway, we want to fill the spheres up with our water, glycerin, alcohol mixture as much as we can to prevent air bubbles, although I usually leave the liquid slightly sloped inwards so I have room to seal it. To seal the spheres, we'll be using UV resin. The most important thing is making sure there's no leaks. The UV resin will cure even though it's next to some water, but the two-part resin will have some issues if it gets wet. So I usually cover the gap in the sphere with the UV resin, cure it, clean it, make sure there's no leaks. If there are, I'll add more UV resin in the spot and so on until it's all sealed. So in the set I'm making here, I decided to attach some charms to the outside of the spheres, but that's not necessary. That's just what I want to do for this set of dice. Alright, now that the spheres are made, we can move on to the resin part. I'll usually try to put a darker or opaque color at the end where the sphere opening was to help hide it. And then I usually put clear at the other end so that the liquid core is visible, but all of that's just a personal preference. You could do any sort of color of resin you want. So we'll put a little resin into the mold first to help prevent air from getting trapped underneath the sphere. And then we'll put that sphere right in there. And then I just pour resin on top until the molds are filled. We can pop the lids on, put them in the pressure pot, and we're all set! Anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any ideas for something else you'd like to see on my channel, let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you to my wonderful patrons for the continued support, and I will see you guys later. Bye!